Okay, now our next topic is taxation of NR. This topic is most test important from exam point of view. Okay. Now see, this chapter is divided into 8 parts. Means these 8 things are not in sequence, all are independent thing. Means first you have to understand some special rates of non-resident, special tax rates. Okay, then there is some special provision of presumptive taxation, specially meant for NR. So this way there are how many sections? 8 sections. Count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Out of which one thing I have already taught you. In the chapter of capital gains, if you remember, I had explained the concept of conversion benefit. First proviso to section 48. This is already done, but this is also from the family of NR taxation. Okay. So this is as good as done only. So out of 8 things, one is done, 7 things we have to do. So I will start first with special rates. Okay. These special rates are given in 12 and 12A chapter. You know, Income Tax Act is a book. It is divided chapter wise. Problem is what, students only remember chapter 6A. Chapter 6A, which you have studied so long time since CA Inter, chapter 6A, ATC, ATD, but that is not the only chapter, na? The whole Income Tax Act is divided into different chapters. So, just as there is a chapter 6A which is very popular in students' mind, there are chapter 12 and 12A. And this chapter talks about what? Special concessional tax rate for NR. The objective of this special rate topic is what? You should know that generally tax rates are what? Either slab rate, foreign company 35%. They are the general tax rates. For long term it is 12.5%, isn't it? So general tax rate But now I will teach you some special tax rates for non-resident given in chapter 12 and chapter 12A. So this is the first section I am starting. Look, special rates. Now in chapter 12 and chapter 12A, ultimately there are different tax rates which you will have to by heart. But these provisions are optional. In chapter 12A, whatever rule I will explain, it will be related to some rate of tax only. But they are optional. Why optional? You will understand afterwards. But right now we just remember mechanically that chapter 12A is optional. But in chapter 12, whatever provisions are contained, they are all compulsory provisions. You don't have a choice. You have to compulsorily follow. In this whole topic, the assessee is NR, non-resident. Don't forget that. The name of the topic itself is taxation of NR. Now see, between these two chapters, my plan is what? First I will take chapter 12A. First I will take chapter 12A for smooth flow of teaching. Okay. So I am starting with chapter 12. Okay, chapter 12 is starting. Look, chapter 12A. As I said, these are compulsory optional provisions. Optional provisions. Now, in this chart, everything will get over. Eventually, I will teach you with section also. What are the sections in chapter 12A? 115C to 115I. There are many sections. 115C, D, E, F, G, H, I. But right now, please don't worry about the section. Understand the concept with the help of this chart. And then I will explain the section number also. Trust me, you will by heart the section today itself. But first understand the concept, okay? Look at this chart. Just have a look. And what do you understand by this? Tell me, for NRI, if he has got foreign income, does he have to pay tax in India? Obviously not, because NRI stays abroad, and if his income is also abroad, how can Indian government tax him? India has no right to tax him. Feel like this, non-resident Indian, he stays abroad, plus his income is also abroad. So Indian government does not have right to tax him. So this will be exempt straightforward. So from NRI, please remove the foreign income. It doesn't come within the scope. It is outside the scope of its taxation, because Indian government cannot force him to pay tax on his income which is earned abroad. Indian government does not have right. Okay. But If NRI, wherever he stays in Australia, he stays in London, New Zealand, if he has got income in India, then Indian government will not leave him. Agreed? So NRI, if he is having income in India, he will have to pay tax. But at what rate? At what rate? Generally, you pay tax according to the slab rates. But here there are some special rates. So see, what is the special rate? If in India, NRI has got interest and dividend from Sadgo, full form of Sadgo I will tell you. If he has got interest income and dividend income from Sadgo, the tax will be 20%. This is the concessional rate. Tell me, generally interest and dividend income, you pay tax at what rate? Slab rates. You have the basic knowledge of tax rates, huh? I have explained you one topic on tax rates. So tell me, generally, what is the rate of tax on interest and dividend? Slab rate. Like if I have interest income, dividend income, I will show in income from other source and I will pay tax according to slab rate. But here there is a special rate of 20% and it's a concessional rate. Otherwise, see, in slab rate your tax can go to 30% also. But here it is flat 20% tax. Why I will tell you, reason I will tell you. First let me open the whole chart. But this is for which income? Interest and dividend from Sadgo. Now the question is full form of Sadgo. Please listen carefully. I want you to by heart in one sentence only. In one go you by heart. Shares of Indian company. Debentures of Indian public company. Deposits with Indian public company. Government securities. Other notified securities. This is the full form of Sadgo. Repeat. Shares of Indian company. I didn't say public, huh? Public, private, any. Shares of Indian company. Debentures of Indian public company. Deposits with Indian public company. Government securities. Other notified securities. And in real life, you know, there is a big list of notified security which you don't have to remember as a student. You just remember what is O, other notified securities. Okay. So that means if NRI has invested in Sadgo, whatever interest and dividend income he earns, it will be subject to only 20% tax. This is a concessional rate. Why? What is the logic? This is a concessional rate not because government loves NRI. Government does not love NRI. Government loves dollars, pounds. Indian government is attracted towards foreign currency. They don't find NRI attractive. His money is attractive. Imagine a person staying in Australia, Singapore, Hong Kong, Dubai. So government is not impressed by that person. Government is impressed with the dollars he is having. And imagine if that guy, he invests his dollars in India. Foreign currency coming to India. That's why one attractive offer. What is the attractive offer? If NRI invests dollars and pounds in Indian Sadgo, whatever income it generates, it will be subject to a concessional rate. You know, 20% is the concessional rate. Otherwise, interest and dividend in slab rate, it can go till 30% also. But here the tax rate is 20%. Yes, a non-resident can say 20% is why it is concessional. Under slab rate, up to one level it is 0% only. Tell me, how does slab rate operate? Up to one level 0, then 5%, then 20 and then 30. 30% is horrible, but 0% is so attractive. So if a non-resident says, what is so special in 20? I like slab rates only, because in slab rates at least up to a particular level 0, then 5%. So if he says that I love slab rate, okay, then pay as per slab rate. This is an option to you, dear. We don't hate you, we love you. Understand our love. Our love is such that we are giving you freedom. You do what you want. You love slab rate, pay tax as per slab rate. You like 20, pay tax as per 20. Whatever you want, you do. But please invest your dollars and pounds in our Indian Sadgo. You know, these are Indian items, shares of Indian company, debentures of Indian public company, deposit of Indian public company, government of India securities, other notified securities. Basically, government's target is what, you know, our NRIs staying abroad. They should invest dollars and pounds in Indian Sadgo. See why I am calling this an Indian Sadgo? Because see, if NRI is invested in some foreign items, then income arises in foreign, which is anyways not taxable in India. Okay. See, in this whole chapter, keep in mind, we will talk about some NR. Person will be NR, but his sources will be India. Keep this as a general point in your mind. Because see, after chapter 12, I will also teach chapter 12. In all my explanation, one thing will be common. The assessee is NR, but his source of income is India. Because then only Indian government will tax him, na? But the tax will be at concessional rate. And in the whole topic, the logic of concession is what, you know, government is not attracted to NR. Government is attracted to dollars and pounds. And because foreign currency is coming in India, government is excited. And out of excitement, government is giving them preferential treatment. Don't you think this is a preferential treatment? Is imagine if you are NRI, you have got full freedom. If you want, you can pay tax as per slab rates, or if you feel no slab rates will give more tax, you can pay according to 20%. Tell me when 20% will be attractive? Imagine NRI has invested in crores in Indian Sadgo and he is getting some 90 lakhs, 95 lakhs or crores of income from Sadgo in the form of interest dividend. So imagine if he is getting huge income from India. So beyond particular extent in slab rate, everything will be subject to 30, na? So 30% will be so horrible. But according to 20%, whether your income is 1 lakh or 1 crore or 10 crore, it will remain 20%. Means in short, sometimes 20% may be attractive, but sometimes not. Like see, if NRI feels his income from India, from Sadgo, is hardly 1 or 2 lakhs, then he will prefer slab rate. But government says you do what you want, na? In fact, we are giving you so much importance that you choose anything you want. And why government is giving so much importance? Because government does not love NR. Government loves his money. In my Hindi batch से government को NR से प्यार नहीं, उसके डॉलर से प्यार है, उसके पाउंड से प्यार है. That's why government is giving so attractive options. And if some sir, but why Sadgo? Because we want to promote their investment in shares, debentures, and what else was there? Shares, debenture, deposits, government security, and other notified security. See, in real life, in other notified security, there's a big list. Huh? If NRI really wants to make a choice, he has got a wide choice. Don't think only shares, debenture. As a student, you are just studying the main points, but actually there is a big list in other notified security. Anywhere he can invest. But the condition is invest not in rupees, invest in dollars, pounds, whatever, foreign currency. Then only this advantage is there. Now see, 20% is a good rate, but there is one negative point. You know, one negative point, see here. Expenditure deduction not allowed, chapter 6A not allowed. Expense deduction not allowed, chapter 6A not allowed. Means what? If NRI says that from Sadgo I am getting interest dividend, but for that I have taken a loan and I have to pay interest also. Means on one hand he is getting interest and dividend from Sadgo, that is coming in income. But to arrange that income he might have taken borrowing, and on borrowing he is paying interest. So there is an expenditure, and generally any connected expenditure you can deduct and you have to pay the tax on net amount generally, but he will be taxed on gross basis. Deduction not allowed. So this is little negative point, but you know this will not affect him, because see, generally a person having interest and dividend income, you will rarely find some connected expense. I gave one example. This is the only example which is possible. Which example I gave? That to earn interest, dividend income, you have taken borrowings. On borrowings, you have to pay interest. Yeah, that can be your expenditure. But that is rare case, na? Generally, tell me, if I also have some interest, dividend income, these income are such that you just get income. You don't have any connected expenditure. For which if government said deduction not allowed, it's not that discouraging. See, if there are many expenditure possible and if government says no deduction, then it hurts also. But against interest and dividend income, you will also agree hardly some expenditure will be there. And if government says no deduction, it's okay, na? But still if NRI says no, I want deduction, I love deduction, then okay, this is optional. Scrap this, pay tax as per slab rate and you take your deduction also. See, it depends upon him. Like sometimes NRI says that I have got lot of interest dividend, but to generate that income I have taken borrowings. And on borrowings I have to pay interest. So if he is having a good amount of deduction, then he can prefer normal slab rates. Anyways, it is his choice. Plus chapter 6A will not be allowed. Means if he is thinking that in India I have got SARGO interest dividend, but I will do investment in LIC premium, PPF. Remember ATC? Chapter 6A will not be allowed. But you know, generally these NRI people are not interested in Indian chapter 6A. We people who stay in India full time, we generally get attracted to ATC, ATD, etc. But these NRI people, for them India is just investment country where they want to invest and earn. They are not interested in chapter 6A. But still if NRI says, no, I love chapter 6A of India, then sorry, you will not get that. And if you feel hurt, it's okay, scrap this, go as per slab rate. In short, see what are the two choices. Look, if I go for slab rate, deduction of expenditure will also be allowed. Chapter 6A will also be allowed. But if I opt for 20%, then 20% is on gross income. No deduction for expenditure in chapter 6A. See, this topic is simple, but you know, very important from exam point of view. Okay. So this was interest and dividend from SARGO. Now, see, when NRI is invested in SARGO, someday he will sell also. But you know what government expects? That whatever you invested in SARGO, don't sell immediately. Please don't sell immediately. Keep it invested for a long time. If you sell immediately, it will become short. And if short term gain, no special rate. But if you generate a long gain from selling SARGO, then there is a special treatment. You know what is the special treatment? Tax will be 12.5%. The rate of tax looks normal, but you will get this totally exempt if it is reinvested in another SARGO. Means if by selling SARGO, the proceeds you invest in another SARGO, this will become exempt. See, you are not looking at this attraction. Tell me, if SARGO is sold and after selling the SARGO, if you use the money to invest in another SARGO, then your capital gain will become tax free. See, what government is indirectly trying to say, that NRI, if you want, you can sell your SARGO, but keep rolling, keep rolling. Keep rolling means you sell this SARGO, reinvest in another, then sell, reinvest in another. If you keep rolling, you will never have to pay tax. Yes, your interest and dividend, which you will regularly generate, it will be taxed, but at a concessional rate of 20%. See, the whole theme of the topic is what? To make attractive provisions to attract NRI so that they invest dollars and pounds in India. Okay. Tell me, this exempt if reinvested, you know, it has a condition. You have to reinvest within 6 months from the date of sale of SARGO. Like see, NRI, he sold one SARGO on 4th June. 4th June he sold the SARGO. So from 4th June, within 6 months, he has to purchase another Sadgo. Then his capital gain will become exempt. But if he says, no, I don't want to reinvest, then sorry, then pay 12.5% tax, 12.5% tax. And here you don't get benefit of STT, huh? Which benefit? 1,25,000. See, these are special provisions. 1,25,000 exemption for STT paid, grandfathering. They are regular rules. Here, regular rules or special rules? Special rules. This will be subject to straight 12.5% tax. No benefit of paying STT like 1,25,000. So this will discourage him. So if he feels, no, this is so bad. For STT paid, I want that 1,25,000 exemption. Okay, then scrap this. Who is forcing you? These are optional. These are optional provisions. You can go for normal provision where STD paid, you get 1,25,000 exemption, grandfathering. Remember all that? So this is one negative point. See, I am not saying chapter 12A has got all good points only. See, if everything was good, so what is the point of option there? Option means what? Some things are good, some things are bad. So you choose. So if you see the brighter side, you can always remain tax free if you keep rolling. What? If you keep rolling Sadgo, means you sell Sadgo, reinvest another, again if you keep rolling the money, you will never pay the tax. This is the brighter side. But the negative part is, what is the negative part? When you pay STD, you get exemption of 1,25,000. That is not there. But see, STD paid is possible only in S. Keyword is Sadgo. Only in S, STD paid is possible. STD is levied on what? Equity shares. So the whole list of Sadgo, STD is not possible only, na? Yes, if in Sadgo by chance there is shares where you have paid STD, then if you expect 1,25,000 exemption, that will not be allowed. I mean, this is a negative point. But that negativity is there only in shares, na? Okay. In short, everywhere what I want you to understand the plus points and minus points. See, some student asked me the doubt. So here you said expenditure deduction chapter 6 are not allowed. What about Latakji from Sadgo? See, Latakji from Sadgo, everything will be expenditure deduction anyways is not there. Tell me, how do you calculate Latakji? Full value consideration, less transfer expense, less Kavi. What is Kavi? Cost of acquisition, cost of improvement. All that you can minus. Many students think, so deduction should not be allowed. See, capital gain is always after cutting the cost. The name of the income is gains. Gains means what? Gains. It's always after cutting the cost. That government cannot deny. See, here the name of the income is interest, dividend. So against interest and dividend, if you have got some special expense, that you cannot minus. But long-term capital gain computation, how do we do the computation? Sale consideration minus transfer expense, all that you can minus. And if you say chapter 6A is anyways not allowed for long term. If you remember that topic, Satak, Latak, winnings balance. Satak, Latak, winnings balance. Those special rates column, they never get chapter 6A. This is a basic rule. Means if you say, sir, what about chapter 6A long term? How would I answer? Here for long term gain, chapter 6 is anyways not allowed. Nothing special in this topic. In general only, long term gains never get chapter 6A. In fact, in that Satak, Latak, winnings, all those special rates column, what were the special rates? Tell me. Satak G under 111A, Latak G under 112A, Latak G others, winnings. These special rates income are anyways not entitled to chapter 6A. So here if you ask me, sir, what about long-term chapter? It's anyways not allowed. So conclusion, tell me. See, I was addressing this point. Like in interest and dividend of Sargo, I said expenditure deduction not allowed, chapter 6 is not allowed. Here also is not allowed. But here expenditure means some separate expenditure you cannot minus, but all that you can minus, cost of acquisition, cost of improvement. But what about chapter 6A? Chapter 6 is anyways not allowed for long-term gains. So, and one more thing, if you remember conversion benefit, I don't know whether you remember that capital gains topic or not. In our capital gains, if you remember, I had explained conversion benefit. See this theory. Where is that theory? Here. See this. Conversion benefit. Tell me what were the 4 conditions? When you calculate capital gains in foreign currency, then you convert into Indian currency. Assessed should be NR, shares and debenture Indian company purchased in foreign currency, not falling in 112A. So if you remember that example, here I proved that NR, if you see in dollar terms, he had incurred $1,000, and by selling he has received his $1,000 back. He didn't make gain. You remember by showing this example? I hope you can recall that. So I told you that although in Indian rupees he made a gain, but capital gain will not be done in Indian rupees. It will be done in dollar terms. Then I took this example also. Okay. So tell me what were the conditions for this benefit? Why it is a benefit? Although in rupees term you are making a gain, but we calculate in dollar terms. Here it was 0. It was a benefit, na? So tell me this benefit who gets? NR, shares and debenture Indian company, purchase in foreign currency, not falling in 112A. All not falling in 112A means not through RSC, etc. Remember? Not falling in 112A. So see, all these conditions are satisfied here. He is also NR. In Sargo, there is shares and debenture Indian company, and these are acquired in foreign currency and not falling in 112A. I already told you here you will not get benefit of 112A. Means that STT paid 1,25,000, because that STT paid 1,25,000 is a general provisions, and these are general or special provisions. Special provisions. So here you can take conversion benefit. Means here NRI is allowed conversion benefit if he wants. Means this is one benefit I am saying. See, although you are not getting STT benefit, which STT benefit? Exemption of 1,25,000. See, when you pay STT, there is one good attraction. Your long-term gain up to 1,25,000 is exempt, na? Plus you get benefit of grandfathering, remember? So those benefits you are not getting. That is disappointing. But feel good about conversion benefit. Because see, whenever you lose 112A benefit, this 4th condition gets satisfied now. And in the topic which I am doing, your NR, its shares and debentures are there in Sargo, purchase in foreign currency, and since you are not getting 112A benefit, so you will satisfy 4th condition also. In short, what I am trying to say, here you can get conversion benefit. Here you can get conversion benefit. But that conversion benefit knowledge you will use when, if in the question they express the figures and they give some, see how will you come to know an exam, you know, the question will be framed like this. Buying rate, selling rate, this information will be given. This information will be given. So you will automatically come to know. So if these information is given in a question like this, question of Sargo, you will use conversion benefit. In short, here conversion benefit is allowed. Okay. Anyways, conversion benefit is allowed. It is in general also, if you don't fall in 112A, conversion benefit is allowed. So here that is also one attraction that conversion benefit can be claimed. Then tell me in short what are the features of this long term gains. Repeat once again. Calculation long term will be plain. FEOC, transfer expense, kavva kavvi as usual. Okay. And then that capital gains calculation you can get conversion benefit. But you do in exam only if they give buying rate, selling rate, rate of exchange if they give. Otherwise ignore that. In many exam, you know what they have done? This Sargo question comes, but they don't give you this informations. Then forget it. All in normal manner. But if by chance this information is given, you are fitting in conversion benefit. I proved with the help of conditions. Okay. So calculation will be normal, and if buying rate, selling rate is given, do in that foreign currency style. Then what will be the tax rate? 12.5% without STD paid benefit, or 1,21,000. Plain 12.5% tax will come. And that if you want to get it freed, if you don't want to pay tax, you keep rolling. Rolling means by selling one Sadgo, you invest another Sadgo within 6 months from the date of transfer. And you know, here when you reinvest in another Sadgo, your exemption is based on one formula which is same as 54F. Take a time, take a moment and think. 54F, capital gain, sell anything and buy house. Remember that? Same type of formula is there. You know, in 54F capital gain, exemption formula was like this: gross Latak G into CNA, cost of new asset, cost of new house, divided by net consideration. Same formula you have to follow here also. See, with example I will tell you. With example, see here. Try this. Assume NRI sold his Sadgo. He sold his Sadgo for 100 rupees. Okay. And there is no transfer expense, net consideration also 100. Cost of acquisition is 80. Long term capital gains 20. Okay. Now after this exemption will come. So exemption depends upon, you know, same as 54F. Let's assume by selling Sadgo for 100, he reinvested 40. He reinvested 40. So what was the formula in 54F? Gross Latak G into CNA upon net consideration. It is actually based on cross multiply only. That if out of 100, if you reinvested 14, the reinvested new Sadgo. By selling your old Sadgo, you got 100. But new Sadgo you bought only for 40. So how much you reinvested? 40%. So capital gains will be accordingly 40% exempt. See, I want to say it is the same formula which was there in 54F. Gross Latak G into this is like CNA divided by net consideration. See, I have done here. So 20 into 40 upon 100. So you will get exemption of 8. See, don't pay attention to the section now. Just see that when Sadgo money is reinvested in another Sadgo, how does the exemption operate? Same as 54F. Tell me, if the net consideration was fully reinvested, means one Sadgo you sell and full amount you reinvest in another Sadgo, then complete exemption. But if you receive 100 by selling Sadgo and if you invest only 14 new Sadgo, so you reinvested only 40%, so capital gain will be 40% exempt. The formula is ditto same as 54F. See, I was explaining this thing in detail, how exemption is calculated. And when you reinvest, new Sadgo you cannot sell for 3 years, lock-in period. New Sadgo you cannot sell for 3 years. This is a lock-in period. Okay. And tell me where you have to reinvest? You have to reinvest where? You have to reinvest in the another Sadgo. Okay. But here there is one more option. Either you can reinvest in some Sadgo or notified savings certificates notified under 10(4)(b) section. Means in Income Tax Act there is section 10(4)(b). in this section they have notified some saving certificates. What are those exactly? You don't have to remember. In exam they will clearly write notified saving certificate under 10(4)(b). So even if you invest here, it's allowed. See, I am explaining what? How to get exemption. Otherwise, Sadgo Latakji will be taxed at 12.5%. But if you want exemption, what to do? Tell me one by one. You have to reinvest within 6 months from transfer date. Where? Either new Sadgo or notified savings certificate under section 10(4)(b). And once you reinvest within 6 months, you have to check if fully reinvested, capital gain fully exempt. But out of 100, if you reinvest 40, like that example, so proportionate exemption, same as 54F. And the new Sadgo, you cannot sell for 3 years, lock-in period. Just as in capital gains, new asset you are not allowed to sell for 3 years. Here also, new asset you cannot sell for 3 years. There is a lock-in period. See, once you understand these two things, chapter 12 is done. The whole focus of this topic is understand NRI's tax treatment on interest and dividend from Sadgo and Latakji from Sadgo. See, this other income is taxed at normal rate. Tell me what can come in other income? Satakji from Sadgo. Then any income not related to Sadgo can come. Like NRI has got one house in India. He might be earning rent, or he has sold some land in India, long-term gain. See, this is not universal long-term, only Sadgo related. What about other long-term gains? It will come in other. In short, NRI can have other income also, na? So, other incomes are subject to normal rate. And when I say normal rate means Satak, Latak, winnings balance. Those rates. And slab rates, etc. All those winnings, 30%. For regular income, slab rate means all other income will be subject to normal rate. See, I am teaching what special rates. Special rates are there only for interest dividend from Sadgo and Latakji from Sadgo. In Latakji, rate is not special. Provisions are special. In Latakji, rate is not special now. It's 12.5. But provisions are special. What special provision was there? Keep rolling Sadgo, exemption. But there also some points you have to remember. Within 6 months, either you buy new Sadgo or notified savings certificate under 10(4)(b). And then exemption, how does it operate? If you invest only 40 out of 100, then 40% exemption is allowed. Formula same as 54F. These are special things. Actually speaking, I have taught you these many sections. All sections you almost learned except few points. See, I will go section wise and it will amount to a repetition. Because this much is clear. Now see, tell me, these optional provisions are for whom? NRI. Do you know what is NRI? There is a difference between NR and NRI. There is a difference between NR and NRI. NR means non-resident. It's a general term. Even company can become non-resident. Partnership firm can become non-resident. HUF can become. But NRI are human being like us. You know what is the full form NRI? Non-resident Indian. Means you should be NR plus Indian. Means this is a narrow term. See, although the name of the topic is taxation of NR, the term NR is a general term. Anyone can become NR. But right now what I am explaining is for NR or NRI. NRI meaning non-resident plus Indian. Like all our Indians who are settled abroad, for them these provisions are specially meant. Like my younger brother, you know me, Shirish Vyas. I have one younger brother 4 years younger to me. Even he is a chartered accountant. His name is Manish Vyas. He stays in Hong Kong. But he is my brother. We are Indians. He is my brother. We are Indians. You don't feel I am Indian. We are Indian. But he has settled in Hong Kong. He works as a CA in HSBC Bank. So what is my brother for income tax department? NRI. He is not a foreigner. He is Indian but settled in Hong Kong. For such people, provisions are there. So my brother is the perfect example to fit in this topic. So tell me from my brother's point of view, as a chartered accountant, what you can advise? Imagine my brother is seeking your advice that I want to invest in India. He is getting salary in Hong Kong dollars. He is saying I want to invest in India. So what will you advise? Advice based on this knowledge. You can tell him, do one thing. Since you are NRI, you invest your Hong Kong dollars in Sadgo. And then what attraction you will explain? Whatever you invest from that Sadgo, you will get returns in the form of interest, dividend from shares, and for other items in Sadgo, interest. So what will you explain? If you invest in Sadgo, you will get regular interest dividend on which you have to pay only 20% tax. No need to pay as per slab rate. But if he says, no, but I like slab rate, then pay as per slab rate. And then if you pay according to 20%, he will not get expenditure deduction, chapter 6A, gross basis taxation. And one more attraction you can explain. Whatever you invested in Sadgo, keep rolling. If you want, you sell. If you feel in stock market the prices of Sadgo has risen up, you sell it. But reinvest in another Sadgo. If you keep rolling your money, you will never have capital gain tax also. But keep rolling means sell one Sadgo, buy either another Sadgo or notified savings certificate under 10(4)(b). All this provision you can explain. And if he says, sorry, I am not impressed by all this, then go to hell. Go as per general provisions. And in general provision, what will happen? Tell me. This will go according to slab rate. Deductions will also be allowed. And what about Latakji? If STD paid, possibility is there. 1,25,000 grandfathering. But if STD not paid, then full amount subject to 12.5% tax. And reinvestment benefit will not be allowed. Keep rolling. Getting exemption not allowed. If you go for normal provision. See, one student asked me a doubt. Sir, can we do like this? This special provision will opt, and for this will go as per normal provisions. You cannot choose in mix and match form. Either choose this completely or ignore this completely. Partly not allowed. Like, see, some people think that interest and dividend taxed at 20% is good, yeah. I am getting crores of interest. 20% is a good rate. But this, I don't like this, because by selling shares, STD paid, I can get 1,25,000 exemption under normal provision. So I would prefer normal provision for Latakji. So that is not allowed. You cannot do mix and match. Either choose this completely or ignore this completely. Okay. In ignoring, generally this is better in ignoring, because in long-term capital gain, see, although I said that if you keep rolling, it will be exempted, but you may not be interested in reinvesting, na? See, if a person wants to keep rolling his money in Sadgo, then it's okay. But what if he says, no, I want to sell the Sadgo in cash? Then this exemption is not attractive, na? Then, especially in Sadgo, he has got shares where he has paid STD. So getting 1,25,000 grandfathering is more attractive, but that is available on the general provisions. Special provision, it is not allowed, na? So in short, all the plus and minus points you have to do the balancing. Accordingly, you have to choose what do you prefer, okay? But this choice is for people of India settled abroad. Tell me right now, what did I say? NRI means NR plus Indian. What do you mean by Indian? Person who has got citizenship of India or who is a person of Indian origin. See what I have written, ICN PIO, Indian citizen or person of Indian origin. See, I gave example of my brother. Now tell me, my brother is Indian, how do you know? See, just because your brother will be Indian only, not necessary, no? We have to check what? Citizenship. and my brother's citizenship can be checked by passport. If your passport has Government of India stamp, you are Indian citizen. So citizenship depends upon passport. If it carries Government of India stamp, you are Indian citizen. But some people think, but sir, I don't have passport yet. So if you don't have passport, then your birthplace matters. But obviously, this guy is NRI, na? He has gone abroad, means definitely he should have passport. So my brother is in Hong Kong, so he has gone abroad. So he has passport. So if in his passport there is stamp of Hong Kong government, then he is not Indian citizen. Although he is my brother. But if his passport has Hong Kong government stamp, then he is not Indian citizen. So citizenship depends upon passport. But my brother's passport is still Indian passport. So because of that, he is an Indian citizen. But see, no worries. Even if you are not Indian citizen, there is one more criteria. You should be person of Indian origin. You know what is a person of Indian origin? A person who himself or his mother or father or his grandfather, grandmother were born in undivided India. Either you or your parents or your grandparents should be born in undivided India. What do you mean by undivided India? India with Pakistan, Bangladesh. India before independence, before 1947. Tell me, before 1947, India was having Pakistan also, Bangladesh also. So your birth should have taken place in those days. Like see, if you check my brother was born in 1979. In 1979, India was partitioned. But what losses? Your birth or parents? Our parents were born in somewhere in 1952. Even 1952 is after partition. But our grandparents, like my grandfather, was born in 1907. These are the real facts, sir. I am sharing secrets of my life. So my brother, if government says, when was your grandfather born? 1907. It was a time when India was undivided. So because of my grandfather, my brother is a person of Indian origin. Not because of his birth. His birth was in 79. Our parents' birth was in 1952 somewhere. But grandparents were born long back. So my brother has got Indian origin. See why I am struggling to explain this? Because see, only if you pass the test of Indian, you become NRI. And only if you become NRI, this topic has relevance. While making this topic, what was there in government's mind? There are so many Indians who studied in India, who became CA in India. They settled in Dubai, Singapore. They are minting money. God bless them. But it's time for them to pay back. How to pay back India? India gave you degree of chartered accountancy. India gave you qualification. India gave you birth. So don't you think all your foreign currency income you should invest in India? And if you invest in India, in Sadgo of India, you will get attractive tax features. See, while making the provision, something went in government's mind, na? So this was the government's thinking, that there are so many Indians like Patels in USA. There are so many Indians, there are many Sikhs, Punjabis settled in US. So for them, government is making an announcement. All the Indians staying abroad, come on, invest in Indian Sadgo, dollars, pounds, anything, sterlings. If you invest, you have special provisions. If you don't want to invest, go to hell. Now see here, these sections I have already taught you, except one section which I have not taught. Rest all sections I have taught. See how to remember the section number. There is one keyword, DD Tero. DD Tero. DD Tero. Okay, so one by one. Actually, see, don't mix up. Huh? These alphabets are keyword. And the alphabets written in blue color are the section number. So reminder will be DD Tero. And these are the Bare Act sections. So see, what is 115? See, this is D for definitions. See, if you see in the Bare Act, section 115C has got Definition. Definition of what? Who is NRI? What is Sargo? This I already explained. I am not re-explaining. But the meaning of NRI, what meaning I said for NRI? NR plus Indian. And Indian means Indian citizen or person of Indian origin. That explanation which I gave, where it is written in the law? 115C. And these are special provisions for Sargo. What is the meaning of Sargo? What is covered in Sargo? Where it is written? 115C. Did you see here what I have highlighted in the whole chart? Appreciate the colors which I am using now. NRI and Sargo. The whole topic is revolving around NRI and Sargo. Okay. So you should also fix this way in your mind. See, I purposely draw it so neatly so that visual memory is set. As a student, it should fix your mind. NRI, Sargo, NRI, Sargo. So what is NRI? What is Sargo is explained in 115C in the form of definition. Okay. Then 115D. Deductions not allowed. See this. Expenditure deduction not allowed. Chapter 6A not allowed. This thing is written where? In 115D. See what I have written. Deductions for expenditure chapter 6A will not be allowed. This is written in 115D. See the alphabet in blue color is a section number. Huh? Then T for tax rate. What is the tax rate? Tell me fast. Interest dividend from Sargo 20%. Latakji from Sargo 12.5%. Rate of tax is given in 115E. Tax rate. Can you guess what is this E? Exemption if you reinvest in another Sargo. See this. Long-term capital gain if you make and if you reinvest in another Sargo or notified savings certificate under section 10(4)(b), then reinvestment benefit you get means your capital gains becomes exempt. But how much exemption? If you reinvest only 40%, then 40%. The formula is same as 54F. This thing is given in 115F. See, E is the clue to remember. E for exemption. See, one great coincidence. See this exemption formula. What did I say? It is same as 54F. And even this is given in 115F. You are not understanding. See, this exemption formula, didn't I say it is same as 54F of our capital gain? And here also the underlying section is 115F. See this F. Okay, then R stands for, see this point also I didn't explain. Huh? NRI is not required to file the return. Exempt from filing the return provided he has got only Sargo incomes. Like take example of my brother. My brother is Indian. He is settled in Hong Kong. So if he has invested in Sargo and assume he has got only Sargo income in India. All other income is arising in Hong Kong. His Hong Kong income is like this, na? But in India he has got only Sargo income. You know what is the benefit? He is not required to file the return. Provided TDS is deducted. And because my brother is NR, for NR every income TDS will be deducted. But law is just saying that in case your TDS everything is deducted, you don't even have to file the return. This is, government is pampering my brother. So that people like my brother who have settled abroad, they can invest their foreign earnings in India. That is the logic of the whole topic. Okay. So R stands for return filing not required, provided he has got only Sargo income. Tell me, what if my brother has got some house property in India from which he is getting rental income? So the moment he has got some other income, then he has to file a full-fledged return of income. But if he has got only Sargo incomes, then return filing is not required. Okay. Then look here. O stands for, these are optional provisions. O for optional. Like my brother says, I don't like all this special provision, I don't like it. Okay, then scrap this. You can pay tax as per normal provisions. So these are optional provisions. O for option. See, I have made a keyword to remember, DD Tarot, DD Tarot. And with this keyword, you can remember which section also. In one exam, they had created a question like this. In the question only, they had written section 115G. Means the framing of the question was with 115G. So imagine if a student doesn't know 115G, how will he answer? So now you can say 115G is about what? He is exempt from filing of return. So accordingly you can answer, na? But sometimes they frame the question in such a way that only if you know the section number you will be able to answer. So that's why wherever sections are relevant, please respect it. See, here my experience matters. So many years of experience, I can tell you what is relevant, what is not. So wherever I am insisting the sections to be remembered, please by heart. Okay. One point is remaining and this topic is over. Topic means what is over? Chapter 12A will get over, which is still, our section 1 is still not over. There are how many sections in this topic? 8 sections. First section we are doing right now. In that chapter 12A will get over soon. After one point. See what is the last point? Just take my example of brother. It will be very simple to remember. Do you agree my brother fits perfectly in this topic? He is Indian. He is settled in Hong Kong. So he has become NRI. Now, let's assume my brother, while he was in Hong Kong, he invested lot of money in Sadgo. And he is happy with the provisions. He is loving 20% tax. And he keeps rolling Sadgo. And if you keep rolling Sadgo, your capital gain will always get exempted. So let's assume my brother, he is happy with chapter 12A provisions. But suddenly my brother decided to come back to India. He was missing me. I am in India, elder brother. I made him CA, I motivated him. He was trying to go to film line. I motivated him to become CA. He has settled. So he is missing me now. After so many years of spending in Hong Kong, now he wants to come back to India. So I said, okay, come back to India. But the problem is what? Once he comes back to India, he will become resident. So how will government of India treat him? Will they beat him? Or they will still treat him? See, this special treatment is for NRI. My brother was NRI for so many years. But this year he made a plan of coming back to India. And once he comes back to India, he is no more NRI. So technically he is not eligible for these provisions. And assume my brother loves these provisions. Why? Because maybe his interest and dividend income is coming in crores. Where slab rate is not better, 20% is better. Let's assume, because then only my example will have relevance. Huh? If my brother hates this, so he is unaffected. If he comes to resident, anyways he is not attracted to these provisions. So to create the importance of example, assume he loves this provision. He loves 20% tax. He loves exemption by rolling in Sadgo. But now he is feeling bad for what? He is coming back to India. He will become resident. So he will not get chapter 12A benefit. So see, for such people, what government said, don't worry, dear Shirish's brother, come back to India. We will treat you nicely. You can still continue special provisions, but for interest and dividend income. You can still continue even though you have become resident. Even though you have become resident of India, who are generally not qualifying for this topic, but still, since you invested in Sadgo in your NRI days, those Sadgo will still get special provision, but only for interest and dividend income. And only for those Sadgo which you acquired in your NRI days. Yes, after coming to India, if you buy some new Sargo, they will not be subject to special rates. But your old Sargo, which you acquired when you were in Hong Kong, those Sargo, you can still continue special provisions of 20% for interest and dividend, but not for Latakji. Is basically what government says. You are NRI, you are in Hong Kong, so those Sargo when you bring, keep that Sargo with you. As long as that Sargo is with you, you will keep getting interest, dividend, interest. See, interest, dividend you get when you hold the Sargo. Like see, my brother, he comes to India and this is Sargo. He holds the Sargo. As long as he holds the Sargo, he will still be taxed at 20% on the interest dividend you get only when you hold. But if my brother says, no, I don't want to hold, I want to sold, then it was his decision to sell. Then no special provision. Because sale is happening after coming to India, after becoming resident, then you will be subject to normal provision. If you say, no, I will reinvest in another Sargo. Sorry, you are resident. After becoming resident, you cannot get the special provision for Latakji. Interest and dividend, you can continue. Because see, it's logical, na? The Sargo which he bought when he was in Hong Kong, when he comes back, he will bring back everything. He will bring his Sargo also. So let the Sargo come to India, and as long as that Sargo is with him, as long as he holds, he will repeatedly get interest, dividend. See, interest, dividend you get when you hold it. So you hold it. We will not punish that Sargo because they are good Sargo of NRI days. So interest, dividend will be subject to special rates for 20% if you like it. But as long as you hold it, the moment you sell your Sargo, don't forget you have become resident, Shirish's brother. On becoming resident, you will not get the benefit of ruling. Okay. So see, this drawing will explain everything. See, this is my brother. My brother is Manish Vyas. I am Shirish Vyas, okay. So assume in year 1 he acquired Sargo. See, year 1. And in year 1 he was in Hong Kong only. He was in Hong Kong means he was NRI. Year 2 also he was NRI. Year 3 also NRI. Assume in year 4 he shifted back to India. So now he will become resident. So this you understood, no? This is my assumption. In fact, my brother is in Hong Kong since more than 10-15 years. Okay, he keeps coming to meet us, but since long time he is there. But in my example, assume 3 years he was NRI. Now he came to India in year 4. So what will happen? So tell me, in first 3 years, you are NRI. You can rightfully claim special provisions. Tell me, why did I put tick mark? Tick mark is a sign of you can claim special rates. These are special rates. And no doubt about it, because you were NRI. You had Sargo. So tick mark means you can claim special provision. Problem starts when you become resident. So tell me, after you become resident, what will happen? Can you continue special provisions? See here. For interest and dividend, you can still continue special provision. You know why I've used black color? To show obligation of government. Feel grateful. Feel grateful to government. Why grateful? Although you have become resident, you are technically not entitled. But still government is allowing you to continue the special provision for your old Sargo. After coming to India, if you buy new Sargo, they will not get special provisions. But for your old Sargo, you can continue special provision. But that also, what did I say? That is as long as you hold the Sargo with you. Interest dividend will be subject to special rate. But the moment you decide to sell it, you will gain, you will make long-term gain. Special provisions not applicable. Means for Latakji, you will not get special provision. And anyways, for Latakji, what is so special? Rolling benefit. Otherwise, in Latakji, 12.5% is normal rate only nowadays. But that benefit of reinvestment, that will not be available once you become resident in India. Because after coming to India, if you are rolling like a normal Indian guy. Then special provision not applicable. This thing is written in section 115H. And what is the alphabet R reminding you? Position on becoming resident. What was the title of the theory? Position on becoming resident. So see, in one line, let me say, on becoming resident, the NRI can still continue special provision in respect of interest and dividend of his existing Sadgo. Only for interest and dividend, not for Latakji, that also from existing Sadgo. He can still continue special provision. And continue means assuming he was liking this special provision. So government say, okay, you love this special provision, Shirishi's brother, continue. Continue as long as you hold it. Okay. So this was given in section 115H. See, in my example, what did I say? My brother decides to come back to India. So see, the moment he steps into India, he doesn't become a resident immediately. Huh? Here you have to apply the knowledge of residency status. So let's continue our example. My brother decides to come back to India. He came to India on 9th June 25. So immediately by stepping into India, he do not become R. He will be called R. See, resident status is decided at the end of the year by counting number of days stayed in India. If he stays in India for 182 days or more, then for this financial year he will become R. And by chance, if he came to India somewhere in the month of Feb or March, so even though he has come to India, he came in Feb or March, he hardly stayed in India in this financial year. So he is still NRI. But next year, someday he will be called R, na? So in short, when I say my brother decides to come back to India, so just by coming back to India, it doesn't become resident. Resident status is decided on yearly basis. Every year we have to stay how many days he stayed in India. So it depends. If he comes at the start of the year, then he will stay for the whole year in India. So practically it will become 182 days. But if he comes in the end of the year, his stay will not become 182. He will be NR. But next year he will become resident. Okay. So here residence means depending upon the number of stay days you stay in India. Anyway, that topic also we'll have to do. Residence status of 182 days. Okay. Because even that topic of CA Inter is tested in CA final. Some basics are tested in final. So you know which topic we have completed? Chapter 12A. Chapter 12A. And trust me, with this keyword you can by heart all these sections. Just remember D tarot. D for definition, another D for deductions, T for tax rate, E for exemption for Latak, G for reinvestment, R for return filing not required if you have got only Sadgo income. Then another R, position on becoming resident. O stands for these provisions are optional. If you don't like, you can scrap this and pay the tax as per normal provision. And every year you can change the option every year. It's not once you choose one thing, choose it forever. Every year. Like my brother, if he is in Hong Kong only, every year he can choose whether he wants special provisions or normal provisions. Every year you can change this. Okay. So this was chapter 12A. Now, so chapter 12A we are done. Now see, for chapter 12A in our question book there are two questions. At least one question will solve and come, which I will discuss in the next lecture. One more such question is there that I will allot as homework later on. And you know why I want to give both the question or a separate timing? Because in this question, although I am expecting you to try, but I know you will fail at some places, especially in the method of solving. So I don't want to waste both the homework question by giving to you. One question you try, I know your trying will be little bit haphazard. But after that, once again, I will allot one question of question 12A. That time you will be able to successfully do it. Because this homework question which I am giving, it is little bit method driven. Anyways, what is that method and all I will discuss in the next lecture. First you do one thing, try independently. Because see, getting the answer is not a rocket science. Because see, once you know these provisions, this chart of SADCO, interest, dividend, you know full form of SADCO is clear in your mind. Because sometimes they test based on SADCO full form. What is covered in SADCO? Shares of Indian company, debentures of Indian public company, deposits of Indian public company, government security, other notified security. Keep that in mind. Huh? So based on this chart, at least try this question as much as you can. One hint I will give you, the question is asking you to calculate the tax. So first you have to compute the income and then calculation tax, SATAK, LATAK, winnings balance, and whenever tax calculation is there, surcharge, health and education cess, everything should come to your mind. So try independent, honestly, give an honest try to this, then only my discussion will be worth. And please don't check the answer which is available with you. Try as if it's your test, question number 1, okay? Please do the homework and come, please revise and come.